Smile, be, chat, join for networking.
Make some noise. Make some noise. Fantastic. My name's Craig. I am the #1 UK's motivational magician. How do I know that? Brad Burton told me. Basically, that's the thing. And I'm here today to talk to you about how you can take your business to the next level. Now, when I say this, I normally get one of two questions. One, what can a magician teach me about running a business? Fair point. And the second question I get is, when's he going to do a trick? That's what you're all thinking. I know you're all thinking that. So we're going to get the elephant in the room out the way. I'm going to start off by doing a trick. Would you like to see that? Give me a yeah! Okay, now this is the very first trick I ever learned when I was about 17 years old. Are you ready for this? It's a trick with a spoon. I'm going to try and move this spoon with the power of my mind. Do I get an ooh? Congratulations, I'm probably the most single sarcastic group ooh I've ever heard in my life. Check this. Moving the spoon with the power of my mind on 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I know it's amazing, isn't it? I've got to be honest, some of you look a little bit underwhelmed. Look, here's the thing. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I first got into magic, that's about as good as it got. Luckily, I've got a bit better now, so I want you to watch that spoon. Do not blink for a second. If I take that spoon and blow, guys, I can turn that spoon into a fork. Oh, come on. That was good. That was good. That was good. And I'm going to do something else in a bit later on. I'm going to do another trick as well. But before I do, I need somebody to pick a card. And that somebody's going to be you. Okay? I know, it's so exciting, isn't it? I want you to grab a card. Take a number card for me if you can. That would be good. Grab one out really quickly. Very good. You can show everyone if you want to. It doesn't really matter. But what I do want you to do is take this pen and write your name on the face. Can you do that? What's your name? Gemma. Gemma. Can I call you Gemma? Yeah. Great. Put your phone number underneath there as well. Yeah. Slick. Yeah, right. And the reason I get Gemma to do that is it makes the card unique. So in other words, even if there are a million cards in the world, this is the only one, put it back there, this is the only one with your name on it. So even if I had a million cards in the world, this is the only one with Gemma's name on it. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's unique, in other words. Now, Gemma, it is really important that you remember that card. Okay, and the reason is later on when I dramatically say, this is your card, if you've got I don't know, it loses its impact slightly, to be perfectly honest. Now, Adam, what I want you to do is give those cards a shuffle if you can. And there is one other thing I need, and I'm going to grab that. When you finish shuffling them, by the way, my friend, can you put them in the box? I'll give you the box, that would be good. And there is one other thing I need, and that's in my back pocket, if I can get it out. I have a wallet. Now, Sammy, can you hold on to this wallet for me? The reason I ask you is because, frankly, out of everybody here, you look like the most trustworthy. So I want you to hold on to it. Don't open it. Just hold on to it until a little bit later on. Adam, when you finish shuffling, put the cards in the box. Wonderful. We're going to get back to that later on. So I'll show you some magic. Now, let's talk about business, okay? And like I said, what can a magician teach you guys about business? And it's a really good question, especially when you consider that most magicians are terrible business owners. And I know, because for many, many years, that was me. In the wonderful world of show business, there's two words, right? There's show and there's business. And most magicians, what they do is they spend hours obsessing over the show part. They'll spend 8 hours a day practicing moves in their bedroom to fool you, but then they won't spend any time on their business. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story so you can illustrate that. Is that okay? Would that be okay? So 15 years ago, I was knocking doors. I was doing door-to-door sales. Now, I did magic as a hobby, but I was doing door-to-door sales. Why was I doing door-to-door sales and not magic full-time? Because I didn't have the guts to go out and perform on stage. I was scared. I loved magic, but I was scared. And that's lesson #1. If there's something you love more than anything else in the world, don't be scared. Just go out and do it. It's as simple as that. I can't tell you the amount of time I wasted because I hadn't gone out and followed my dream and my passion. So I was knocking doors, and I was doing magic as a hobby, just showing my friends and my family. And I was knocking doors, but here's the thing. I was a door-to-door salesman selling gas and electric. You know the guys that knock on the doors and try and change gas? That was me. I was not well liked. But I was the best gas and electric salesman in the whole of Npower 2 years in a row. Because I used magic tricks to sell their stuff. When people answered the door, I took a gas bill off them and I turned it into a £50 note. Everybody signed up. Clever, right? Till you realise the commission was only 33 quid and I lost money every single time. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The point is I was the best. I was absolutely the best. And over the 2 years, I started to try and get a little bit more experience. So I was working at comedy clubs and going out and doing open mic nights. And I was trying to get some experience performing. And then I was ill, really ill. For like 2 weeks, sick as a dog. I had a doctor's note, but what happened at the end of the second week, I had a letter from Npower. They fired me. because my boss, he thought I was going out doing magic and I wasn't ill, and so they made the decision to fire me. I had to go back and tell my girlfriend that I'd lost my job. She was furious. I had no job, I had no income, I had to do something. So I went and bought a whole bunch of wholesale trick magic cards. And then I went and worked on market stalls every single day to try and sell this stuff. And that's when I got really good at magic, because if you can do it well enough to get somebody to part their money to learn how to do the trick, that's great. And that's lesson number 2. You've got to do what you've got to do when the chips are down. And that's what I did. I went out and I went and worked on market stalls. But while I was doing that, I was fighting this whole Empower thing. And then after 6 months, the best phone call. I won the court case and they had to give me my job back. So I had a phone call from the HR director. You got to come down to Empower head office in Worcester and you got to come and have a chat with the boss and everybody, and you're going to get your job back. And they had to give me all the money for the last 6 months that I would have earned in wages and commission. So I walked in and there was the guy that fired me, and you could face like thunder, but he was doing a fake smile. And then there was the HR guy, and you did the fake handshake, and we talked about how I was going to come back, and I took the check off them and everything was good. And then I walked out, and you remember that TV show, Columbo? I kind of turned around at the last minute, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, you won't see me on Monday. Shove your job up your arse. Because I realized that I didn't want to be doing door-to-door sales. I wanted to be following my passion. And it was a risk, but there's another lesson. Anything in life, if you want it, you're going to have to take risks. It's as simple as that. I've took tons of risks. Have all of them panned out? No. Have a lot of them panned out? Yes. Would I be where I was now if I hadn't have taken any risks? Not a chance. I'd still be knocking doors for a living. So I'd left the job and I rang up my girlfriend and told her that I'd quit my job after getting it back, and she was pissed, frankly. And she said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to be a magician. And she went, screw you. And here's the thing. I started living my dream. I became a professional magician. But somewhere along the way, I got lazy. Because this is what happened to me, and this is what happens to most magicians. My job in my head was to go out and do magic. So my job was to go out and perform on the weekends and maybe the odd evening show. So what did I do in the day? Absolutely nothing. It's not my job to get the work. It's my job to be the superstar on stage, not to get the work. That's not my job. So I would sit at home all day, every day, doing absolutely nothing, sitting at home in my underwear. My claim to fame, and no one can take this off me, is in one day, I watched an entire 24 episodes of 24. The entire season. That is my greatest accomplishment, swear to God. That took some. That took some. But here's the thing. I sat there and I was thinking, why am I not getting the type of work I'm getting? Why am I doing kid shows and not corporate shows? Why am I not getting enough work? Why am I not getting the work I feel like I should get? And then I realized it's because if I want it, I have to get up on my ass, to quote Brad Burton, and I have to get up and I have to go and make it happen. And then 4 years ago, I kind of had an epiphany. It was about the same time that my kid was born, my first child, Ryland. And my wife told me that she was pregnant and that that she was a deputy head at a school, so she had made a lot of money. And she told me I had to step up. And that changed everything. I realized that if I wanted to secure my family's future and I wanted to provide for my family, I needed to step up my game. And at that point, everything changed. I set up Slightly Unusual with my business partner, Russell Leeds. And within a few months, we were performing all over the place. We were turning away work. We got clients Rolls-Royce, 20th Century Fox, Price Waterhouse Cooper. We were flying all over the world. We got people working for us. We were sending people over to Dubai. We were going off all over the country. And so we then set up another company, Non-Stop Kids Entertainment, which has become the largest children's entertainment company in the UK. 5,000 parties a year, over 50 entertainers working for us. We've got the contract for Alton Towers. We do 900 shows a year there. Then we set up a property management company and a letting agency. And now we're setting up a fourth company, and we're turning over well over £1 million a year in 4 years. And I tell you this not to brag or not to willy wave, if that's a thing. I tell you this so that you understand that all you have to do is apply yourself and kind of switch flick a switch in your head, and then you can make anything possible. Anything is possible if you just apply yourself. Now, here's the irony. I told you at the very, very beginning that magicians are terrible business owners, and they are. However, and here's the irony, magicians are taught certain skills, certain principles that we call you muggles. You're non-magical folk. You're lay people. You don't learn these principles. These are the principles we use to fool you. But these principles, if you apply them to business, it will help you take your business to the next level. So in the next few minutes, what I would like to do is go through a couple of these principles. Does that sound good? Yeah. Awesome. Now the first one, I go networking a lot, okay? And I meet people online and at networking events, and they go, I've been self-employed for 2 years now. I think I'm going to go and get a job. This just isn't working out for me. I give up, right? And here's the thing. Lots and lots of people feel that way. I want to show you a trick. And this trick actually has a point. Does anyone know what these is? The most best-selling, most popular toy of all time. This is Rubik's Cube. Does anybody know how to solve one of these? Without pulling the stickers off, that's called cheating. Here's the thing. Yeah, Todd does, right? Here's the thing. There are 47 quintillion million combinations with the Rubik's Cube. That's a lot. The world champion with a Rubik's Cube can solve a Rubik's Cube in about 15 seconds, but that's not good enough for you guys. If I told you I could solve this Rubik's Cube in 5 seconds in one hand, would that be good? Yeah. Good enough to get a big round of applause? Yeah. What about if I told you this, I took this cube behind my back, I hold it behind my back, throw it underneath my legs, catch it, and as I catch it, it would solve. Would that be good enough to get a big round of applause? Yeah. I can't do that. No, I'm going to give it a shot. Watch the cube. Here we go. Behind the back. Here we go. Boom. Come on. Now, I can't tell you how that works, but I can tell you how it doesn't work. This is what most people think I do. They think that what I do is I mix up the cube, which I do. And they think that when I put the cube behind my back, I switch it for another cube. Be honest, who think I did that? Somebody, yeah, that's what I thought. I don't do that, but I do cheat. Let me show you, but I cheat with style. Let me show you what the cheating looks like. I'll do this again, but out in front. Can you see the cube? Yeah. Sammy, if I asked you to fix that, it'd probably take you around about forever. 1, 2, 3. Looks something like that. Boom! I know, right? But here's the thing. You look like a rabbit caught in headlights. But here's the thing. A Rubik's Cube is a lot like starting a business. When you first start a business and you look at a Rubik's Cube, you know exactly what it's meant to look like. You have a vision. And then you start mixing it up. And you start making decisions. And things start getting screwed. And it doesn't look like you want it to look. But then it gets worse. Because what happens is you carry on mixing this cube and you end up not knowing what's going on. And you end up, you're in a situation where you just never think you're going to be able to solve it. The magic number is 20. No matter how mixed a Rubik's Cube is, you are 20 moves away from solving it. All you need to know is the moves. And it's the same with business. You look at a cube, you look at your business, you think you're going to quit, you think there's absolutely no way you can fix it. Doesn't matter what you do. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's solved. It's as simple as that. All you have to do is believe and just focus on what you need to do to get that business to what you want it to look like. Think like a person who solves a Rubik's Cube. Does that make sense? Yeah. Misdirection. That's one of the biggest tools for a magician. What misdirection means is making you look somewhere else. So while I'm doing the move over here, it's actually happening over here. All magicians are taught how to do misdirection from a very young age. Here's the thing, you can apply misdirection to your business, okay? Let me give you an example. Who here has had a bad experience with a customer who's not happy? And you've had that phone call. I'm not happy, I want a refund. No, you're not going to get a refund. I will ruin you. I'm going to destroy you. And then what happens? You see a Facebook message, and you've had a review, and it's a 1-star review. And then their friends are going on giving you 1-star reviews. And then you have a Twitter review, and then you have it on Google. And if you're in the early 2000s, you get a Yale.com review. I don't know, but you get a whole bunch of stuff like this, and then you start arguing back. Screw you, that didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. And you end up getting into this argument. Forget that. Use misdirection. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive. 20% off our products today only. Or, hey, we're having this event and let me give you an example. We had a person who wasn't very happy with us, and they said that they were going to put a review on NetMums, and they did. We didn't have a presence on NetMums. So all we had on NetMums is a 1-star review, 5 paragraphs about how we suck. That was damaging. All of our clients go on NetMums. So what did we do? I just sent an email to every single person that had ever left us good feedback saying, hey, if you put a review on NetMums for us, you'll go into a draw to get a free party from Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. 24 hours later, 245-star reviews. Thank you very much. Screw you. You're buried. Simple as that. That's using misdirection. Simple as. I'll give you another one. Always have an out. I've got millions of these, but I haven't got time for many. I'll do a couple. Always have an out, right? Magicians obsess about outs. What is an out? Very simple. If I was holding a Rubik's Cube and a fork, and I asked you to name one, which one would you name? If you named the fork and I reached into my pocket and I had a piece of paper that said, you will pick the fork, that's a good trick, right? Yeah. Unless you realize that there's a piece of paper in this pocket that says you will pick the cube. That's an out. An out is knowing ahead of time what you're going to do. Magicians obsess about outs. We think about them all the time. We try and work out what's going to go wrong in the magic trick, and we try and figure out ways to fix it. You should do that with your business as well. You should think about your business, and you should think about how it could possibly go wrong. And if you're sitting there going, oh, my business is perfect, it's never going to go wrong, you're wrong. It's as simple as that. Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You want to be proactive, not reactive. Work out what shit is going to go wrong so that you know how to fix it before it happens. Always have an out. I'm going to leave you with two more. First one, learn from your bad experiences. Learn from the negatives. This is something that magicians do all the time. Here's the thing. Every single time something goes well in our business or wherever it may be, we do a happy dance. We're really excited. And if something goes bad, you're just depressed and you sit around about it. First time I ever went on stage, it was in a comedy club. I wasn't funny. I did no research. I didn't have an act. And I walked out on this comedy club to go and do this show. They booked me for 45 minutes. I have never died worse than I did that day. Everything. I just wanted... You've ever seen Brad Burton talk? He talks about doing a commando roll. When you're in a bad situation, commando roll away. I wanted commando roll friggin' 5 miles away, man. It was horrible. I died on my arse. Every second it felt like a year. What was worse is after me, there was some rapper on. DJ Wheezy was his name. And I was sitting in the front row listening to this guy, and he used to take things off the audience and rap about them. He spent 45 minutes rapping about how shit I was. And then I had to drive home in the car. And I remember as I was driving home, I was thinking, God, that was a bad audience. And then the following week, I had another show, I died on my arse again, and I remember thinking that was a bad audience. This happened about 5 or 6 weeks' time. I then began to realize, I'm getting a lot of bad audiences. No, I began to realize that it wasn't my audiences, it was me. And here's the thing. When you point a finger at somebody else, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. I have a friend, and he says to me, and it's a very good, very true thing, everything that happens in your life, it's your fault. If you're happy with your life and your business and everything's perfect, that's your fault. Congratulations. If things aren't where you want it to be, that's your fault. Only you can fix it. So when I have a negative now, whether it be a bad show or a bad experience, I work out what went wrong and I work out how I can fix it. And that's how I got good. Now I can go on any stage in the world and smash it every single time. And the reason I can do that is because I had so many bad experiences that I learned from them, and that's how I got good. One last thing, big final piece of advice. Always leave people with a lasting impression. That's important. If you go to a networking event, you want people to remember you, so they contact you. If you have a client meeting, you want that client to remember you. If you have a phone call, you want that person to remember you. Because if you're memorable, then they're going to want to do business with you. As a magician, I always leave my best trick to last every single time. You took a card, you signed it, you shuffled it, you put it in that box. And before all of that, Sammy, you've been holding onto a wallet. Pass me the wallet, Sammy. Did you open it up? No. That's why I picked you, because I can trust you. Inside this envelope right here, inside this wallet, is an envelope. A sealed envelope inside a wallet. I'm going to take this out. Sammy has been holding this from the very beginning. Sammy, just tell me that is a sealed envelope. Would you agree with that? Is that a sealed envelope? That's a sealed envelope. And Sammy's been holding on to this the whole time. Let me show you. I'm going to unseal this thing. And I want you to see that as I unseal it, there is a playing card in there. One playing card and one playing card only. And that playing card is not just any playing card. It is the 5 of Hearts with Gemma's name on it. That is called leaving a last impression. That is what you need to do for your clients. Leave a last impression. That's for you. My name is Craig, the #1 motivational magician in the UK. Thank you very much. Take care. Goodbye.